Good morning, Mr. Hecker.
Hi, Judge.
Find your case here. Okay. Got Mr. Ayler.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Ayler is here
Okay.
in my office.
Okay. What are you looking at doing with Mr. Ayler?
On that case, we've got an offer. I'd like to have some time to talk to him about it. I believe I have a counter offer coming,
Okay.
so I would just need a small reset.
Okay. You know, want to go into May?
Would that be fine?
Do you want to check your calendar, see either May 6th or May 12th?
Let's see. The 6th or the 12th? Well, rather that didn't. I've got. That's bad.
Okay. What about the 20th?
Let's see. The 20th is great,
Okay.
and that would be great. That'd be at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And now there's no telling if we'll be Zoom or live by that time.
That's right.
Yeah. If we could get you to just send us an email, confirming that May 20th at 9 o'clock date, and we'll reply right back to you.
Well, I appreciate it. Then we have Rochard Shorter with some pleas.
Okay. He's complete out this morning.
Right. I'll need to talk to him, and I've executed the documents, but
Right.
he'll need to sign them.
Okay. All right. So we can just get an email, I guess, first on Mr. Ayler
Yes, sir.
and give you that address.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, there it is on the screen.
Oh, hey. Very good. CCL at austincounty.com. Thank you, sir.
And so
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, just put in there his name, May 20th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you. I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's see, Mr. Briggs. Robert Briggs, can you hear me? Hey, Mr. Robert Briggs, can you hear me? Robert Briggs. Say, Robert Briggs, can you hear me? And Robert Briggs hear me? Robert Briggs, can you hear me?
He's saying he can't hear you.
Just tell him to disconnect and go try again.
He said he can't hear, and I told him to disconnect from each one. I'll tell him again.
Mr. Briggs, can you hear me?
Judge, the transport call, they're gonna be here in about 10 minutes. Do
Okay.
you want the inmates on the third floor
Yeah.
or here in the jury? Third
Yeah,
floor.
up on third floor, please. And see, Mr. Nystrom, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge.
All right, is the third floor courtroom set up for prisoners?
It will be.
Okay, 'cause I think they're going to be here in about 10 minutes.
All right. It's not going to work.
All right, Mr. Briggs, can you hear me yet?
He's asking, how does he disconnect and rejoin? Do you want me to?
Okay, try to see if you can guide him through. And did you get anything from Mr. Hecker?
Okay.
Do you still have that Travis Sanders printout that nobody knew who he was?
I threw it away.
Okay, let me get it again.
Okay. Got all of them.
Try him again. Hi, Mr. Briggs, can you hear me now? There's not a mute or something.
I was just gonna say it's his volume all the way up.
Are you sending that to him?
I know.
And what's your name?
Inocencio Duarte, sir.
What's the last name?
Duarte.
Duarte? Do you have an attorney?
Yeah, Greg.
Clements?
Greg Clements.
Okay. All right. If you just want to wait, and we'll see if a lot of times he shows up by Zoom over
Yeah, his secretary said that he was going to do it by Zoom, I guess. okay.
Okay. Okay, we'll just have to, I guess, wait for him to appear.
Thank you.
Judge, what was that gentleman's name? That just,
Duarte, I'm looking for him on the docket.
okay.
Number 40.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Briggs, are you able to hear?
Do you want me to have something?
Nope.
Okay.
I guess if you want to tell Mr. Briggs, he should call Mr. Garvey on the phone. Okay. And who's the person that's listed as Donald's iPhone? Who is the gentleman that's listed as Donald's iPhone?
Donald Zascoda.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to operate this too well.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we show Mr. Looney as your attorney. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, we'll just wait for him to join us.
Okay.
And for who just came in, who has court today? Okay, what's your name? Trinity what? L'attorney? You also have Greg Clements as your attorney? Okay, so we'll wait for him to join us here, and so you're in the right place. Just sit and wait for him to show up.
Judge, who is that, please?
That is number 36.
Thank you.
Judge, do you have a number you wanted Mr. Briggs to try calling into instead, since he can't hear the audio, so that we can put it in the chat?
Maybe you should call Mr. Garvey on the phone and see what they can coordinate. All right, and who's the lady listed as Angie? Who is Angie? I can't understand you. Angela what? If anybody can help me with her name?
That's Angela King.
King?
Yes.
Looks like number
Okay. Number 2. Okay, so if you just wait for Mr. Garvey. And then, did you ever get the email from Mr. Hecker?
I just checked.
Oh, just wait. Mr. Carter. Hey, Mr. Clements, can you hear? Where'd you go?
Hello, Judge.
Good morning. Okay, we got two of your people are here in the courtroom, so why don't we deal with them first?
Okay.
One of them is, I don't know if you have the docket, but one of them is Trinity, Licciardi.
Okay.
Do you want to come up closer so you can hear?
Trinity. Who is Trinity? I don't see him on my.
Just so you can kind of hear as he's talking. Do you have any more resets?
Trinity Licardi.
That's her. So she's standing here in front of me.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to talk to Ben yesterday.
You want to go in a breakout room and talk to him right now?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Is he here? Yeah, I guess I don't see him. But... Oh, it's a ticket.
Not yet. So do you want to talk to him or? Mr. Nice
Yeah,
to-
I mean, it can be like 1 second. It's a speeding ticket.
I guess we get Mr. Nystrom to unmute.
I'm here, Judge. I'm listening.
Do you anticipate this is a 90-day reset for Ms. McCarty?
Should be.
Yeah.
Let me double check what I sent Greg.
We've got a couple of your folks are here. So. And then got 2 of them are here and one of them's on Zoom. So.
And we don't have DA files in here today.
They're up on the 3rd floor. If you want to go, they're up there and they'll probably talk to you.
I'm gonna pester them about it.
Okay. I tell you what, and you want Mr. Zatskota is on Zoom, so should he just hold tight for now?
Pretty sure we're gonna reset. I'll be back.
Okay. So for either Mr. Kane or Ms. Robinson, Paul Looney's coming up to talk about Abel Suarez and Randy Hegmeyer.
Travis, you want to handle that?
Judge, what was the name on Greg Clements' case?
It's number 36 on the docket, 21 CR 36416.
Is this the last Zoom, Judge?
I'm sorry?
Is this the last Zoom?
Don't know, probably not.
Don't know. Okay.
So the gentleman just walked in the sweatshirt. What's your name? You have to speak up. Okay. You have an attorney? All right. Have a seat then. Okay. Where are we on Miss McCarty?
I just texted Greg what the offer was.
Alrighty. You text me on my phone or on this?
On Zoom.
So, okay. Yeah, be a day reset, Judge.
90 days.
Yes,
About June 23rd.
perfect.
All right, so she's here, so just gonna have her sign this reset. We'll take this, it's over to her, and she'll have you sign that and give you a copy. So that'll be reset to June 23rd. All right, then, Mr. Clements, your other client that's here is Incencio Duarte.
Yes.
Mr. Duarte, why don't you come on up? Just so you can hear kind of what's going on. So what are we going to do with Mr. Duarte?
Yeah, this is a DWI. I'm showing the last that I saw is it was unfiled. I do not have discovery.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if it's been filed.
It's been filed. It has a clause number. It's been filed.
Okay.
I can pull that file real quick.
Well, I mean, I think if it hasn't got discovery, we're probably just looking at resetting it, aren't we?
Sure, if the court wants. I just wanted to make sure whether or not discovery had gone out, just in
No,
case it
discovery
had.
has not gone out on that case yet. We just filed
Okay.
it recently.
Okay.
All right. So what's a reasonable time frame? I don't know if who's Ms. Robinson or Mr. Nystrom, who's.
Sylvia can better dictate how quickly she can get it done, but it's up to Greg for how long he wants to look at it.
When do you think when do you think you can get the discovery to Mr. Clements?
Who is it on?
Incencio Duarte, number 40.
I can get it to him in 3 weeks, like 2 weeks.
About May 6th.
That's fine, Judge.
May 6th is good.
Okay. I'm gonna have him sign and reset then.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Duarte is going to reset your case to May the 6th. And he's going to get some information on the case. Okay, so if you'll take that and just stand behind that lady. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Then I think, Mr. Clements, you still have a bunch of other traffic related cases.
Yeah, and I have one in my office here too. So I have one client in my office. So
Since you're here, let's go down the docket. How about Renee Girardo?
Girardo. Okay, I believe that's gonna be a pre-trial that if it's been paid should be dismissed.
Who in the DA's office can confirm that?
Yeah, today's the end of pre-trial agreement.
Who are we talking about, Judge?
Renee Girardo, number 8.
I think Ben's pulling the file.
But you can. Mr. Zascoda is on. So,
Laura, can you confirm whether that's been paid?
I'm looking at it. I need
Uh, yes, but he's paid in full.
next one would be next week, April 1st. It's fine with me. I'm going to ask him. So Mr. Zascoda, let me see if I can find you again. Mr. Zascoda. Okay. Donald Zascoda, can you hear me? Donald Zascoda, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So Mr. Looney's here. Do you want to speak to him or do you want me to?
We're gonna reset you for next week and you need to come into court next week, okay?
Okay.
So that'll be April 1st.
Alrighty, that'll work.
Okay, so your attorney will sign a reset here.
What's that?
Your attorney will sign a reset for your case for next Thursday, April 1st.
Alrighty, that'll work.
Okay, so you can go ahead and leave the Zoom.
All right.
Okay, so do you find anything about Renee Gerardo?
Ms. Robinson is working on a dismissal for that now.
Got anything from Mr. Hecker yet?
No, he said that he was messaging me, and I still haven't got it.
Okay.
And I rearranged it.
Okay. And Mr. Clements, next one I have on the list here is Miguel Munoz.
Believe that's the traffic ticket. I see an offer from Mr. Skinner, which we would not accept.
All right, so what do you want to do with Mr. Munoz then?
Reset it one more time.
About May 6th.
Perfect.
All right, so if you can send an email to Ms. Lozano on his case to request a reset to May 6th.
Hey, Diane. Send Karina a notice to reset to May the 6th for
Miguel Munoz.
Miguel Munoz.
Okay. Reset to me.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is Ashley Greer.
I believe that one should be disposed of today. I believe she agreed to plead guilty and should have paid a $50 fine.
Yes, is Laura. Laura, can we hear from you?
I don't have any money on her case.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, I see that she paid me $62.95, so I believe that's pretty light. I'll check to see if I may not have paid that to the court.
And the clerk's office has not received anything. So.
Okay, I have received the money from Ms. Greer, so if I could just have a 1 week reset, then I'll get the money to the clerk.
Okay.
And it should just be a finding of guilt.
All right, so we'll set her for April 1st. So Mr. Clements, if you'd send that email for asking a reset till April 1st.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let me see the next.
To my office. Go through all the applications. Okay. We can set him for next.
I mean, April 1st is when we'll have a translator.
That'd be great. I'm gonna take him to my office this morning.
Okay. All right, so we get him to sign. While you're here, how about, we know what we're gonna do with Mr. Higmeyer, or just come in? Okay. All right. Next one, Mr. Clements, the show is Richard Andrews.
I believe that should be a 90-day reset.
All right, so we can reset him to June 23rd.
Hey, Diane. Hey, come on in here. Yeah, just come on in here. Okay. Do a 90-day reset. June 23rd on Richard Andrews.
Then the next one is Domingo Velasquez.
Ninety day reset, Judge.
Okay, so put June 23rd, send an email also for him for June 23rd.
Okay.
Next one is Dylan McMicken.
Come on. 90-day reset. Where is it?
Send an email for him for June 23rd. Christian Rhodes.
I'm not sure on that one. It's a possession of marijuana. I don't know if it's been filed.
Guess who in the DA's office wants to talk about Christian Rhodes?
I can talk to him about that.
Okay. I'm showing that it's unfiled.
Judge Greg also had number 29.
Yeah. He had two of them.
Sure did. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
And Mr. Clements also, while the DA is getting the file, Jorge Charas Barrio.
90-day reset, Judge.
Okay, so that'll be a June 23rd date.
Yes.
On Mr. Rhodes, it looks like Mr. Kane is thinking of referring that back to the JP court as a Class C.
All right, so do we need to do anything today? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll pass Christian Rhodes. We don't need a reset date. All right, so Mr. Clements, did you show anybody else or just waiting for your emails?
I don't have anybody else.
Okay.
And the email should be coming within a couple minutes.
Stay with us until we can confirm we got the emails.
I may not be in front of the camera, but I'll be able to hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let's see, Mr. Longoria, who do you have? Guess we could, Mr. Longoria, first one I show is Cody Rodriguez.
Yes, Judge, he's the only one I have. I just texted him to make sure that he was on. He has not responded yet. That's the only one I had left, so just waiting on him.
Okay. And okay. That Mr. Garvey, we start looking at yours. All right. Y'all like my background music? Everybody get up and dance. We're having court in the club.
Mr. Bravo, you may want to mute your screen.
I don't think it's Mr. Bravo. I think it's somebody on a phone that ends in 045.
That was Mr. Bravo.
I was waiting to get everybody's. Okay.
Is Mr. Garvey there? Mr. Garvey.
Okay, I'm here, Judge.
Okay, the first person you have on the docket, and she's here, is Angela King. What are we gonna do with Miss King?
Judge, Ms. King's probation has expired, but she owes money. She made a payment of 170 on yesterday, and she informed me today that she believes she can have the balance of what she owed paid by in a couple of weeks through her stimulus or whatever comes through.
About like April 14th?
Ms. King?
Yes. Yes, that
Okay.
sounds fine.
You believe you can have that paid by April 15th, April 14th?
Yes. Hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, Judge. She says she can have it paid by the 14th.
Okay, so I guess, Mr. Garvey, if you would just send us an email requesting that Ms. King be reset to April 14th.
Okay, will do.
And then while you're sending that, we're going to jump back to Mr. Longoria. I think Mr. Rodriguez just joined us.
Cody, you there?
My Wi-Fi was messing up.
Okay, so I think that was Mr. Rodriguez who just spoke.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got Mr. Longoria and Mr. Rodriguez. What are you requesting on that, Mr. Longoria?
Judge, I think he has a meeting with probation scheduled for like early April 6th or so. Looks like he owes still money on old cases as well as this current case. I spoke to him this morning and he recently lost his job, so we're just talking about that. So I'm guessing he needs some more time to try to keep paying money. Is that right, Cody?
Yes, sir.
And you see who we got from
Is he
probation.
on probation for this case, Stephen?
Yes,
I see Ms. Tigritz here.
he's my case, Judge. Can you hear me?
I can hear Mr. whoever just spoke, if that was Mr. Rodriguez. Let me ask
No, it's Robert
Ms.
Evans.
Tigert with probation. Is he still currently on probation?
He is. Robert's here and on the Zoom. He's Robert's case.
Okay. So
Can you
Mr.
hear me,
Anders, so Mr. Rodriguez is still on probation?
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you show he owes?
He's 460 delinquent and his balance is 640. The case expires May 15th. May 15th.
Okay. Why don't we put him for May 12th? And then are there any other violations, or you just need to get the money paid to complete probation?
On the agreement to let him pay it off.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Rodriguez need to get that paid by May the 12th and then come back to court.
Yes, sir. Okay.
By May 12th, we'll probably be live coming back into the courtroom.
Okay.
Don't,
Judge, still send a request for that reset to May 12th?
Right, if you'd send an email here requesting Mr. Rodriguez to be reset to May 12th.
Alrighty, Judge.
just
That's
don't
all I
forget
have. I'll stay on for
And
now.
just stay on to make sure till we get that.
All
And
right.
then- okay, so Mr. Rodriguez, you can leave, but you'll come back to court on May 12th. And by that time, get $640 paid to the probation department.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, but you can leave.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hecker still with us?
Isn't it breakout room with, third floor?
Okay.
You have to check. And I've gotten emails from Clements after, that were sent after Hecker. I still have not gotten Hecker's off.
Okay. Let me, why don't you tell me the ones from Mr. Clements? We got some emails from Mr. Clements, so we're going to verify that we got all of them.
Right now, just Miguel Munoz and Ashley Greer is all.
Okay, so we just got 2 so far, Ashley Munoz and Greer.
Miguel Munoz and Ashley.
Oops, Miguel Munoz and Ashley Greer. All right, are you ready for somebody else?
Just giving time waiting.
Okay, and somebody in the DA's office getting it ready? Okay.
They said they'd be down when they were ready.
Okay. All right. So then just letting the DA's office know, this is on Hegemeyer. Okay. So Mr. Looney's here, Mr. Hegemeyer's here, says just waiting on paperwork. Okay.
I spoke to Travis, and so whoever's on the computer probably doesn't even know we're doing this.
Oh, okay. Because I see Mr. Kane, Mr. Nystrom, and Ms. Robinson are still on the screen. So is somebody working on the paperwork for Hegemeyer?
Yes, sir. We're working on them.
Is that Sylvia doing it? Okay.
Yes.
Right. So, and then Mr. Hecker, we still have not received the email from you. So.
Well, I'll tell you, I've already signed Rochard's papers, so I did that. I have sent the email 30 seconds after I had asked. I could resend it again if you'd like.
Well, why don't we confirm your email and she'll send something to you.
Okay.
Okay. What's your email?
It is dhecker281@aol.com.
Okay. Taylor for May 20th. All right, so she's going to try sending an email to you.
Thank you very much. And I'll hold on Rochard.
Okay. And let's see, Mr. Garvey, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The next one I show is Crystal Yinger, and she's on the Zoom meeting also.
Yes, Your Honor. I talked to the district attorney's office. I think we're going to be able to reach an agreement on that. I'd ask the court to reset that to the 14th also.
And Judge, the district attorney's office has no opposition to that. We ask that it be reset.
So Ms. Yinger, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Garvey's on the Zoom meeting requesting your case be reset to April the 14th.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have to stay in contact with Mr. Garvey. I'm not sure if April 14th, if we'll be on Zoom or if we'll be live. So he'll just have to let you know.
Okay.
All right. So Ms. Yinger, you can leave. And then Mr. Garvey, if you'd send us an email requesting that case be reset to April 14th.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm working on it right now.
See, Mr. Briggs, are you able to hear us now?
I know he had some problem with his audio, Judge.
Yeah, I see him. He was here first thing, and let's see if he can hear us. Robert Briggs, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor.
All right, good. Okay, so we got Robert Briggs and Mr. Garvey here. Like I said, Mr. Briggs got here early, so we want to take care of him.
Yes, Judge, we had discussed with the DA's office an offer in this case. At this time, we're not prepared to accept that offer, so I would ask for a reset in that case.
And about how long?
I'd say about a month, Judge.
What about May 6th?
That would be fine, Judge.
All right, so again, Mr. Garvey will need an email for that. And so Mr. Briggs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you can hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so your attorney, Mr. Garvey, is requesting your case be reset to May the 6th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now you're gonna have to stay in contact with Mr. Garvey. By May 6th, we'll probably be back live in the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so then Mr. Briggs, you can leave. And
Okay, thank you.
just plan on being back in the courthouse on May the 6th.
Yes, sir.
And then Mr. Garvey, you still there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Anthony Bravo is here. What are we going to do with him?
Mr. Bravo has a felony pending. I don't know the exact date that he's set for on that felony, Judge.
Let's see if anybody else out there that can tell us.
It's in May.
Do we know when? You know when it is, Mr. Bravo?
Yes, sir. Sir, May 25th.
Okay. So how about May 27th?
I'm sorry, May 27th. Then. I'm sorry.
No, you were correct. Your felony date is May 25th.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was saying the misdemeanor case, we could reset to May 27th.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Judge, I don't have any objection to that.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Bravo.
Yes, sir.
Reset your case to Thursday, May 27th.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And I anticipate by May 27th, you'll have to come back to the court.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just stay in contact with Mr. Garvey.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Bravo, you can go.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, we'll go back to Mr. Hecker.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Hecker, we got your email on Mr. Ale. That one has been reset. It's good. And so I guess where are we on the paperwork for Mr. Shorter?
Judge, I'm reviewing the paperwork and also Randy Hagemeyer's paperwork.
You say you have it or you're working on it?
I'm reviewing it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna waiting on that, Mr. Hecker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and who is called in on the phone that the last three numbers are 045?
That's me, Your Honor, John Newsham.
All right. Okay, and I believe Mr. Newsham, or you were going to provide some paperwork, maybe to probation?
No, Your Honor, I needed to pay them a $50 fee.
Okay. I guess the probation officer who's supervising John Newsham.
Yes, sir. He provided that certificate a little while back, and I believe he's worked out a plea agreement with Travis Kane on this case.
Let me pull the file right quick, Judge, and I'll be back.
Okay.
He did pay the $50 balance he owed us here.
Let's see, Preston Palmer. Can you hear us? Preston Palmer.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We show that Mr. Harrell is your attorney. Is that right?
Yes, sir. He is.
Okay. If you just want to wait a little bit and see if he joins us. Have you talked to Mr. Harrell?
Yes, sir. He sent me an email yesterday saying that he was going to get a court reset to June 23rd, but to join the Zoom link just to be sure.
Okay, let me find Preston Palmer, number 39. So, Mr. Palmer, we're going to check and see if Mr. Harrell sent an email to request that reset.
Okay.
Preston Palmer is reset to June 23rd.
All right, so Mr. Palmer, Mr. Harrell sent that email to reset it to June 23rd.
All right.
Okay, so now by June 23rd, we should be back in the courthouse. So you'll need to plan on being here in the Austin County Courthouse at 9 o'clock on June 23rd.
Okay, yes, Sean, I got you.
All right, so you are good to leave.
All right, you have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, John Neesham.
Yes.
On John Neesham,
Yeah.
Judge.
Yes.
On John Neesham, it appears he has paid the clerk and probation in full. We're going to withdraw that motion to revoke.
All right, so Mr. Neesham.
Yes.
All right, so the district attorney's office is going to withdraw the motion to revoke, so that'll close the case.
Okay. So am I all through with everything then? Is this the end of everything?
You're all through with everything.
Well, Judge, his case doesn't expire till April 15th.
Okay, I'm sorry. So it sounds like you have one more month on probation.
No.
No? That
Right.
yes or no?
Yes, he has one more month to go.
All right, so Mr. Anders, when will he report the next time?
April 7th at 10 o'clock.
All right, so Mr. Neesham, you will report to the probation department on April 7th.
Okay.
All right.
And I believe we also had Ian Neesham set on the docket today. I don't know if Mr.
He's sitting here in the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
All right, so John Neesham, so you're done for today. You just report to probation on April 7th.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You
All right,
can go.
thank you. All right. Thank you.
Get anything from Mr. Longoria?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Longoria, we got your email on Cody Rodriguez.
Thank you, Judge.
So you're good to go.
Already, no appointments or anything?
The only, not for now. If we do, we'll let you know.
Alrighty, thank you. See y'all.
Okay.
Judge, I believe you should have all my emails now.
We're checking.
I've replied to all that I've gotten.
Can you tell me, so have you gotten, let's see. You got one on Jorge Charas.
Got that one.
Okay, so Jorge Charas, we got that one. How about Richard Andrews?
Richard Andrews, got that one.
Richard Andrews is good. Domingo Velasquez.
Got that one.
Domingo Velasquez is good. Dylan McMicken.
Got that one.
Dylan McMicken's taken care of. I believe that's it. Let me run through the docket one more time here.
Miguel Munoz, Ashley Greer.
Judge, on Ian Neesham, I think we can agree to a 2-month reset on him because we're waiting for blood results back. The lab is running slow on those right now. So we would need at least 2 months.
Okay, not sure we already had the one on Miguel Munoz, right? And Ashley Greer.
Yes. Okay. I said another one on Trinity Electronic.
Yeah, she signed one. Is that Jorge Charas, Richard Andrews, Domingo Velasquez, Dylan McMicken, Trinity, Vincencio Duarte, Christian Rose.
What was the last one you said?
Last one was Christian Rhodes. Well, that's the one they're not going to file.
Oh, okay. He didn't send one on Duarte, but Duarte signed it here.
Okay. Okay. So, and Mr. Clements, Mr. Duarte signed the reset here, so we're good on that. So is that everybody? So we have all yours, Mr. Clements.
Okay, y'all have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. Let's see, is Mr. Garvey still here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I see Quentin Runnels is here.
Yes.
Mr. Runnels, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are we doing with Quentin Runnels?
Judge, I have asked for a month reset in that case. There's a new charge pending that I need to look a little bit more at. So I would ask for a month reset on that case.
About May 6th.
I have no objection to that.
Okay. So if you can just send an email requesting that case to be reset to May the 6th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Runnels, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Runnels, your case will be reset to Thursday, May the 6th. And by that day, we should be back live in the courthouse. So you'll need to plan on being in the courthouse on Thursday, May the 6th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. That's no problem.
Okay, so Mr. Runnels, you're able to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Fleetwood.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're representing CCL Rosas.
That is correct, Judge.
And what are you looking at doing with Mr. Rosas this morning?
Mr. Kane and I spoke yesterday. He extended an offer. Mr. Rosas has, I think, one indicted and several unindicted felony cases that we're trying to resolve, in addition to this misdemeanor. That being said, I have not been able to reach him this morning, and I don't see him here on Zoom, so that's a bit unexplained.
Okay. Well, we can wait a little bit till he shows up, but what date would you be looking at?
Judge, I think we wanted to resolve those felonies in the next 30-day time frame, so anything after maybe the next felony docket.
Do the felonies have a setting right now?
I believe so, Judge. I can tell you what that date is. Looks like we have April 20th on the felonies.
Okay. What about May the 6th?
That should be sufficient, Your Honor.
Okay, so while we're waiting for him to show up, if your office would just send a email to us, the address is ccl@austincounty.com.
Got it.
Okay,
And
and just request a reset for Cesar Rosas to May the 6th at 9 o'clock.
yes, sir. We'll get that done. Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll hold on and wait and see if he shows up.
Okay. All right.
We hit a snag on Mr. Hagman.
Okay.
Check some launch and we reset him for next Thursday too. He's going to plead one way or another. We're just not familiar with some of the nuances.
Okay. April 1st.
The DW Act first laws, so we're not, none of us are familiar with the nuances.
You all right over there, man?
Sleep.
Know the feeling.
I've been there about 6 months.
All right.
This is all regards. There's 4 cases and a separate order in there.
Okay.
So it's quite a bit of paperwork.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Hecker, we have Mr. Shorter's paperwork. I'm gonna go back.
Yes, sir.
So let me kind of get it separated, and then Mr. Looney, do you have anything else?
So what we're gonna do,
Okay.
we'll either get time served
Well, I
and
gotta
it's over with, or we
Yeah.
can set the
I'm gonna
case
sign
for
a
jury
reset
trial.
for you, or-
Whatever is best for you.
For next week and give me a chance to try to find it.
Okay, let me find him. Carlos Moya.
It will be on your record, and you'll have a suspension of probably around 90 days.
Mr. Hecker, you might want to mute while you're talking to your client.
Are you tired of this shit?
Yes.
When are we going back?
I'm hoping, but yeah, well, like your people can come live next week and we'll plead them out, but I'm hoping totally, end of April, May.
Okay. People are rapidly going back to normal.
Yeah.
We've got a probation revocation hearing in Abilene on Tuesday. Live.
Good. All righty. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. See you next week. Okay.
Is that going that you want to see this?
Yes. Mr. Hecker, I'm just separating the paperwork and then
Yes, sir.
we can get started.
Judge, did y'all reset Carlos Moya?
Yes. He signed a reset.
When did he get reset for?
Next week, April 1st.
All right, thank you.
All right. Mr. Hecker, before we get started, I guess which assistant is going to handle Mr. Shorter?
I think Mr. Nystrom is the one that has that paperwork, but he stepped away from his desk for a second with
I have
that.
all the papers. That's just before we
Oh,
got
okay.
started. Just wondered who I should be talking to.
Ben and Travis know more about it than I do. Let's see. I think Ben's coming back right now.
Judge, I was just getting Mr. Shorter set up.
All right, is everybody ready on Shorter?
Yes, sir.
It's ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Shorter, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we have 4 different cases. The first one I have is a motion to revoke. So Mr. Shorter, you were put on probation for resisting arrest. Okay, so Mr. Shorter, I show you're put on probation for resisting arrest in 2019. Do you know what the allegations are for violating your probation?
Yes,
And are those allegations true or not true?
true.
All right, and I'll accept your plea of true. What's the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 50 days in jail with credit for 50 days served, payment of court costs, money owed to probation, as outlined in the judgment. The defendant also has a $3,000 court deposit on file in this case, with a separate order that I've brought down to the court outlining how that money is to be dispersed, with the majority of it to be applied to his court costs in his other cases, with the balance, which I believe is around $1,000, to go towards the district clerk's office to remain on file for his pending felony charge.
All right, so on that first case, the resisting arrest revocation, Mr. Hecker, is that the agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Shorter, any questions about that?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
So then I revoke your probation in that case, sent you to 50 days in jail, credit for 50 days served, and the money out of the court deposit will be used on that one. The next one is an evading arrest that ends in 3640. So on the evading arrest case, Mr. Shorter, how do you plead to that?
Guilty.
And can you sign that?
Yes, sir.
And have you had enough time to go over this with Mr. Hecker?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hecker, do you think your client understands his rights and is able to waive them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll approve the waiver. What's the recommendation on the evading arrest?
Judge, the recommendation is 30 days in jail with credit for 30 days served, court cost the amount of $315.66, again, to be paid out of the court deposit from his previous motion to revoke case.
All right, and Mr. Hecker, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Shorter, any questions about that?
No, sir.
And then, Judge, just again, as the only blank on these really should be the judgment sentence date. We don't have that on any of these yet.
I'll write those in as we go along. All right, but I will find Mr. Shorter guilty of evading arrest, sentence him to 30 days in jail, credit for 30 days served, with the court deposit to pay the costs in that one. The next one ends in 36159, driving while license invalid. Mr. Shorter, how do you plead to that offense?
Guilty.
And did you sign that?
Yes, sir.
And have you had enough time to go over that with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And any questions?
No, sir.
And Mr. Hecker, do you think your client is able to waive his rights? He understands them, is able to waive them?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll approve the waiver. What's the recommendation?
Judge, was this 36479?
No, 36159.
The state's recommendation is 20 days in jail with credit for 20 days served. Court cost the amount of $361.32 to be paid out of his court deposit.
All right, and Mr. Hecker, is that the agreement?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Shorter, any questions about that case?
No, sir.
All right, and I find you guilty of driving while license invalid. Sentence you to 20 days in jail with credit for time served, and the payment come out of your court deposit. Next one ends in 36479. Again, driving while license invalid. Mr. Shorter, how do you plead to that case?
Guilty.
Did you sign that?
Yes, sir.
And have you had enough time to go over this with Mr. Hecker?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hecker, do you think your client understands his rights and is able to waive them?
He does, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll approve the waiver. What's the recommendation?
State's recommendation is 30 days in jail with credit for 30 days served. Court cost the amount of $315.66 to be paid out of his court deposit. And in addition to these pleas, the state and the defense have agreed on a JP4 case where his court deposit will also be applied to that as well.
All right, Mr. Hecker, is that the agreement?
It is, sir.
And Mr. Shorter, any questions about that?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, so I'll follow that recommendation. Find you guilty of driving while license invalid. Sentence you to 30 days in jail, credit for 30 days served, and the court deposit will pay the costs. All right, so I've signed all the papers. Should Mr. Shorter be taken down to the clerk's office now?
The other way around, Judge. I think Laura is going to come up to the third floor and fingerprint him up there. Yeah, that should all be that needs to be done.
Okay.
Laura, do you mind grabbing the paperwork on your way up?
Yeah, I'll come up and grab the paperwork and then go up to the third floor.
Okay, so I have all the cases here.
Okay.
All right, so I've signed all the papers. All that's left is to put Mr. Shorter's fingerprints on them, and then they'll give him copies. So is there anything else that you need, Mr. Hecker?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for all the diligent work.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Hecker, you're able to leave, and Mr. Shorter, somebody will be coming to see you in just a minute.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Garvey, want to talk about your next one is John Ortiz. He has two cases. Actually, did we get email from Mr. Garvey on Crystal Yanger and Angela King?
Oh, okay. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to make sure we got the emails on the first two, Ms. King and Ms. Yanger.
And you also should have Briggs and Bravo.
Got Briggs and Bravo.
Okay. Got Briggs and Bravo.
Okay, I'm working on Ronald's. And then I have 2 people left on your docket.
The first one I show that's left is John Ortiz.
I'm sorry, 3. Mr. Ortiz has a pending felony, and I believe he's set for trial also.
Okay.
I don't have in front of me what those dates are.
See if the DA can confirm when Mr. Ortiz is set for trial in a felony.
He should be set in June or July. I'll double check real quick. Mr. Ortiz is set for June 22nd pretrial, July 12th trial in felony court.
And is he out on bond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Judge.
How about July 21st?
Okay, July 21st.
He has 2 cases.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that accordingly, Judge.
Okay. Let's see who else you got here. How about Jalissa Johnson?
Okay, I need more time on that, Judge. Probably about a month. We have not been able to reach an agreement on that. I'd like to have about a month on that one.
I want to do May 6th.
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
Okay, so she has 2 cases. So if you just send an email referencing those 2 cases. And then Billy Joe Jordan.
Mr. Jordan is going to be a plea, Judge. We don't have the paperwork in time. If the court is inclined, I would like to have that set for April 14th.
Okay.
And I expect that'll be a plea.
I think originally Travis had made an offer that they were thinking of not accepting, but they have now decided to accept that offer. So
If you just send an email requesting an April 14th reset.
And Mr. Jordan is present here in my office, Judge.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as soon as we get that email, and I can see Mr. Jordan sitting there. So as soon as we get that email, then that one will be done.
Okay, Judge. Well, let me get on those emails.
Did we get anything from Mr. Fleetwood?
Not yet.
Okay, Mr. Jordan. Let's see. Since you're here, I'm going to take care of you first.
Do we have anybody else on the 3rd floor?
We do, Judge. We have William Pahacek, number 42, and he is filling out a request for attorney form. They're taking him down to the clerk to get that notarized. We ask that he be appointed a lawyer and be reset for April the 1st. He's in custody.
Anybody else in the 3rd floor?
We have one plea that's being worked on now with Daryl Ford.
Okay.
Travis, were we expecting the plea on Dahari Bailey today?
I thought we were. Is what we talked about yesterday. I'm not sure who his lawyer. I think Calvin was. Well, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not the lawyer. Somebody else is.
Your Honor, may I chime in briefly?
Yes, yes.
Still no success in getting a hold of Mr. Rosas. I spoke to him twice yesterday. He was aware of this date. I'm concerned on knowing what's going on. And I'm about to run into a mediation.
Okay. Well, we haven't got the email yet.
Yes, sir. I'll have that over to you shortly.
If you send that, and then you'll be able to leave us today, and we'll be back May 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I showed John Anderson as DeHarry Bailey's lawyer. On the felony, I didn't show an actual lawyer on the misdemeanors.
Okay. And I know Mr. Anderson stopped by yesterday, said he had a docket in Washington County, but then he was going to come here. So. Okay, he's going to come back next week, I think.
Okay, so I'll wait to hear back from her. I'm sending your request.
So if you could take that up to him and just get him to sign that, please. Thank you.
Mr. Kane, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I've spoken to Mr. Rojas. He'll be making an appearance here shortly. He's confused as to the times, but the offer you extended very first thing yesterday on the probation, he would like to accept.
Okay, why don't we go into a breakout room right quick?
Okay.
Talk about that. Judge, can you put me and Mr. Fleetwood, the Travis twins, into a breakout room?
It should happen here.
The best two looking ones on here, right?
Yeah.
Can't tell you apart.
I'll wave the magic wand and see if it happens. Well, are they both in the room? I mean, go ahead and reply.
Judge,
Yes.
Judge Liddy, I don't know what happened to Mr. Fleetwood, but him and I discussed that Carlos Cesar Rosas, number 19
Yes.
on the list, and we have an agreement on that and on his felony cases. His felony cases are set for April the 20th. We'd like to set this misdemeanor for April 22nd for disposition, although we may try to get it done on that 20th day.
Yeah. Okay. He'd already sent, I see Mr. Fleetwood's back. We already got the email on the 6th. So why don't we just officially leave him on the 6th? But if you can plead him out on the 20th with the felony, we can do that.
Believe so, Your Honor. That should all work.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Fleetwood.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So Mr. Fleetwood, you're good to go.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, did you get a court-appointed attorney request on that William Pahacek?
Yes, John Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Whoop, here's Mr. Rosas, right on time. Mr. Rivera just walked in. You're going to do something with Mr. Walker today? Yes, come on up. While you're coming up, let me talk to Mr. Rosas. Cesar Rosas? Cesar Rosas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Your attorney, Mr. Fleetwood, was here earlier, so you may want to touch with him. So both your felony and your misdemeanor cases are set for Tuesday, April 20th.
Okay.
Okay, so just stay in contact with him. You'll be on April 20th. You'll come up here to the courthouse, though. Come up live to the courthouse.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, so then you can go, but again, be in touch with Mr. Fleetwood. We plan on being here in Belleville on April 20th.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, and then for the DA's office, I have Mr. Rivera is here. So, Mr. Rivera.
Judge, I cannot locate Mr. Walker, and last time, this is a time served deal. I know his life situation right now is just real unstable.
Okay.
Between jobs and so forth. I know he was living out of a trailer. I tried to contact him, contacted his sister. This will eventually be resolved with time served on credit before today.
Okay.
And that's all I can tell the court.
I mean, we do one of two things. We either call his name, issue a warrant,
yes,
or you can sign a reset. We let you get you a little more time to try to find him.
Judge, if I may.
Whoops, wait a second. Come on, Mr. Kane just jumped in.
Are we talking about Trevor Walker?
Yes.
Yes. We'd like to call his name and document that he's not here today. We don't have to issue a warrant today on Trevor Walker, but if Mr. Rivera is there, wants to get another reset date, but we do want the court to notice or make a docket entry or something that he's not here today. Trevor Walker's not here today.
Okay, so we'll call his name, we won't issue a warrant, and then have Mr. Rivera sign a reset. So about what type of time frame do you think you'd be looking at?
I think we're subject to the court's grace on this.
Do you know if you have
weeks or 30 days?
I mean, do you know if you have any other cases here within the next month or so?
I've always got something later, but no. I think the felonies.
Or if you know when that is, we can put this on the same day.
Drawing a blank on that, but whatever.
You know the name?
I think it's Mr. Porter.
Can you look and see if what's his first name?
Dietrich Porter?
D-I-E.
D-E Dietrich.
What's the last name, Judge?
Porter. I think it's Diedrich Porter. Looks like you're limping. They really are getting to you.
Diedrich Mandel Porter.
Is it a POM?
Let me see.
Judge, that's okay. We'll work with.
Let's see if we can find out when he said. So.
Well, I don't, DEDRIC, I don't see anything open on that name. So that's why I was asking for spelling.
Anybody else find a Diedrich Porter?
Judge, you sure his first name is Diedrich?
No.
He's not sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kane.
But did you think it's possession of marijuana?
Yes, dangerous drug type thing.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Rivera thinks it's a drug charge, if that helps.
But Your Honor, I appreciate it whenever, even I recognize general courts, because the court knows handle it very short.
Yeah.
Resets in light of the circumstances.
Okay.
Judge, I don't show anyone in the system by Diedrich Porter. We had one from 2015, but all his cases are disposed of. Is there another name potentially? Or
Not sure.
Mr. Longoria, I've sent you paperwork on Mr. Ford.
Judge, what I might suggest is Mr. Rivera go on the Austin County Clerk site, go to calendar and input his name as attorney, and whatever cases he have would come up.
How long has that been in effect? Please don't say the last 20 years.
100 years. What are you talking about?
Embarrassing. I didn't know that the system.
Can you do that?
I'll do that.
Well, let's see if she can do it here.
I don't want to hold up the crew, Judge.
We're just
Mr. Rivera, what's your first name?
James. Or Diedrich, also known as Diedrich.
There's 167 cases that pop up. So hold on.
Open.
Let's see.
I don't know if it can be by how it's filed. It should be a relatively new case. If there, it's by chronological.
Do you have any other open cases here?
A lot of most of them. Public access.
I don't have anybody else see it.
Okay. So it shows Trevor Walker, though. It shows Trevor Walker.
TREBOR.
TREBOR. That's the case that's set today. No, on that list of his cases.
Daryl Phillips.
Daryl Phillips.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Hey, could I speak to one of the prosecutors real quick about a William Pachacek? He's already been, I'd like to see if we can't get something accomplished
since
We're all up here, Mr. Anderson, just whichever one you want to talk to.
You want me to just come outside and talk to you?
Yeah, we're going to use that computer for inmates and stuff.
I mean,
So I got the first, the initials correct of the first and last name.
Okay, so just, we'll put Trevor Walker for, it's April 22nd.
Judge, that's very gracious of the court. I clearly know that this will be bond forfeited and warrant, knowing that this thing has been called, he's not here.
Okay, we'll get you to sign that. Here's a pen. And just hoping by April 22nd that we're all back live.
Good. Thank you, Judge.
All right, see you on the 22nd.
Thank you, Mr. Kane.
Okay, I tell you what, for Ms. Robinson, Ms. Nystrom, and Ms. Herrera, we want to go through the rest of the docket and just kind of see where we are. Heidi Sanchez, Mr. Baker.
I haven't heard anything from Mr. Baker on that case. I don't know if anybody else has.
Judge, I have a reset for May the 6th on that one.
I thought Mr. Baker got all of his cases reset.
So how about Laura? How about Julia Griffin?
Reset to May the 6th.
Travis Moore.
Also reset to May the 6th.
Houston Huber.
Reset to May the 6th.
James Touche.
I don't have anything for him.
Okay, number 37, James Touche.
I think Ben's pulling the file to check for notice, Judge.
Okay.
Judge,
Mr. Anderson, go ahead.
I'm sorry, me and Mr. Kane had talked about Mr. William
hot check.
And Mr. Kane's going to do a little research into a situation where his mom's living in Houston, and we quite possibly may have an agreement on a PR bond, and he go live with her. He just wants to follow up some leads on that. And then if nothing else, we probably will reach an agreement as far as resolving the case on April 1st.
Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Anderson, I know there's somebody, I think he's in custody up there, Derry Bailey, that I think you're representing him on the felony.
I am representing him on the felony, Judge. If you'd like to appoint him to me as far as the misdemeanor, that would be great as well. And I'll just handle both.
Okay. So he's got 2 cases today, a failure to appear and a criminal trespass.
Those are probably all part of the felony, if I would be guessing. So if we can just reset him out.
Do you know when his felony is set?
His felony is set for the 30th of March, Judge, because we have a bond issue that we're going to try and take up with Judge Steinhauser on that. What's his bond currently on these misdemeanors?
I don't have the file, so I don't know. Does anybody?
I can get that, Judge, just a moment.
Would you like me to bring Mr. Bailey in here?
Looks like his bond is set at 5,000 on the misdemeanor.
There's 2 misdemeanors.
Oh, the other one is the criminal trespass that he jumped bond on before. And the computer just shows $1,000 from back in October of 2020 that he made a bond, but then I think there was a warrant out on him. But right now, the computer just shows a theft of a firearm and the another theft. There is a bail jumping charge that, let's see if it has a bond on it.
And the cases that I show are criminal trespass and failure to appear.
That's correct. And then a felony theft of a firearm.
Okay. So what's the bond on the criminal trespass? 36360.
$5,000.
And what's the bond on the failure to appear? 36485.
They don't show a bond on that one. Let me look right quick.
If it was an FTA, is it possible there wasn't a bond set on there?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we would not oppose a $5,000 bond on the bail jumping that 36485, 5,000 on the criminal trespass, on the theft of the firearm.
Judge, we would ask that they be made $5,000 PR bonds, Judge, because we're going to try and work something out with Judge Steinhauser as far as his felony bond. And if he can make that, that's going to be about as tapped out as he's going to be. So,
are you going to address that on the 30th?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. But why don't we let's leave things the way they are. And if you resolve the felony bonds on the 30th, then we can talk about the misdemeanors.
That's fine, Judge.
So, do we want to just set him for April 1st?
Sure. That's fine with us, Judge.
Okay. So I'll do a reset on those then, of Mr. Anderson, if you want to come down and get those.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge. Thank you.
But you have another reset.
You have to run upstairs real quick.
All right. Did we figure out anything on James Touche?
Yes, Judge. He received his notice via mail.
We want to call the name of James Touche. If no response, his bond will be forfeited and KP is issued for his arrest.
You get that, Sylvia? Sylvia, can you hear me?
Then the next one is Keith Herring. Number 38, Heath Herring is a criminal trespass.
Mr. Herring is in jail at this time. Looks like has a motion to revoke on a burglary of a habitation in addition to this criminal trespass.
So is he up on the 3rd floor?
No, sir. I don't think they brought him over the day since he has the felony case.
Okay.
I didn't see him. Let me look, on the felony case, the motion to revoke. We amended that on that March the 5th. Looks like John Anderson was his court-appointed attorney at one time.
So when is he set for the felony?
I don't show a court date. We'll probably have him set for the 30th since he's in custody.
Mr. Anderson just popped in. Let's find out. There's somebody else is in custody that to show that you're representing him on a felony. Heath Herring.
Possibly. Sure, I'll take it.
So he has a misdemeanor too.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so just put him.
If I have the felony, I'll gladly take the misdemeanor. Easy enough.
Okay, well, Mr. Anderson's in here now. He didn't know about the felony on Heath Herring. What's the charge?
It's motion to revoke on burglary of a habitation on the felony.
I think he's in custody, but they didn't bring him over. So.
Oh, they didn't bring. Okay. Well, we could just have him brought over on the 30th.
Yeah, he'll be brought over 30th on the felony, and if you work something out, I'll set him for the 1st.
Okay.
But if we take care of it.
Sounds good, Judge.
So if you could get Mr. Berry to sign these two, and then you just sign the one on Mr. Herring.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And
state need to sign there. Let the state sign.
No, it's okay. Okay, great. Okay, and then
I'll bring these back.
Okay, what about? I think he is. I'm not talking to them now. Sorry. Daryl Ford, who's in custody. What are we going to do with him today?
They're getting the paperwork. They've sent the paperwork to Mr. Longoria to review with his client. So we should have a say in a little while on Daryl Ford.
About Sergio Arriaga, 45.
I had a reset for him, Judge, for July the 15th.
All right. Micah Gentry.
The same thing, Judge. For June the 17th, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. And then Ian Neesham is here in the courtroom. What did we want to do with him again?
We were asking to reset that one for 2 to 3 months so that we can get the DWI results in.
Okay, is it waiting for blood?
Yes, and the DPS lab is running behind at this time, and so we're expecting it would take at least 2 months, maybe 3.
So is the end of June a good date for Mr. Neesham?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll take that over to her and she'll have you sign it. Next one is Christopher Rodriguez.
What number is Mr. Rodriguez, Judge?
48.
Judge, I'm back on that one. Christopher Rodriguez, I was recently hired on a felony case on a Christopher Rodriguez. I sent a letter to the DA's office March. Just haven't followed up with Mr. King yet on him. Is it the same Christopher Rodriguez?
I believe it is. It's carrying a weapon and a felony drug charge.
Okay.
'Cause Oh, Christopher.
I don't know how honorable he is, but he's here. Come on in.
What are you doing, Garvey? Mr. Longoria, this is Christopher Rodriguez from Sugar Land.
Hold on just a second. I have a DOB of 927.
That's correct.
That's
Okay.
it.
So Judge, we would ask that this case be reset about 3 months down the road so we can get the felony under, see where it's at. This all happened on February 27th. So we may need about 2 or 3 months to figure out what our game plan will be on this.
About July 1st, Mr. Longoria?
That'll be good, Judge.
Let me give you right now, it just has an FOC number. I can give you that number and you just include that in the email, please.
Okay.
It's FOC 21-0062.
0062. Okay.
Correct.
That was
Yeah.
July the 1st?
July 1st.
And it is Christopher Rodriguez, is that correct?
Christopher Rodriguez.
Okay. Because in something in my notes, I had a Gonzalez, but no, I had it different ways, different times. Okay.
All right, so if you just send that email to Ms. Lozano.
I'll do it.
Also, Your Honor, I think they're asking that Mr. Longoria be put into a breakout room with the third floor courtroom because there's a defendant who's in custody that Mr. Longoria, I think, represents. And so.
See the one on the screen?
Yes, Judge.
Barrel forward.
Okay. So we can get Stephen Longoria in third floor courtroom. Okay, the next one on the docket is Michael Curtis.
Judge, what number are we on?
49.
Let's see. Sylvia, do you know?
Who are we talking about?
Michael Curtis.
Curtis. He's in jail right now. Travis said to hold off on him for another week.
Okay.
That Michael Curtis is the one that has a assault, family violence, and has a possible sexual assault question.
Oh.
Did they bring him over today?
No, sir.
Okay, so just want to put him for next week, April 1st?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, who does that? Either Laura or Sylvia? We'll put him in the system for April 1st. Yes, Laura, can you put him in the system for April the 1st?
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay. Let's see if we got, let's check on some of these other emails from Mr. Garvey. Angela King.
Reset to 414.
Crystal Yinger. I have those dates. I just want to make sure you got the emails.
Yes, got that.
All right, hold on a second here. John Ortiz.
Yes. There were two phones.
Yes. Quentin Reynolds.
Yes.
Jalissa Johnson,
Yes. She's got her.
Billy Joe Jordan,
What number's that?
number 24.
Yes. And Robert Good. Number 14.
Okay. I think that I think Mr. Longoria might have a plea, but other than that, let's see. So Mr. Garvey should be done, I think. Mr. Garvey, can you hear me? Okay. Or wait.
Please, Judge, I just need a copy of Heron, H-E-R-I-N-G. I need a top copy of that. I'll get it right back.
Make a copy of that, please.
Ben, I think you're unmuted.
Was I saying something inappropriate?
Yes, that's why we were enjoying it.
No, but you can hear everything in the office if you're unmuted. So it's always safer to mute.
Okay, so I think all we have left then is the plea with Mr. Longoria. Is everybody else, anybody else show anybody on the docket that's not taken care of?
Judge, I have a couple, but I just might have missed what
Okay.
happened with these. I
Yeah.
have Randy Hagemeyer.
Mr. Looney signed a reset. I have that here with me.
Okay. Number 32, I can't say his name. Demise.
Let's see, 32. Let me get over there. 32. I'll give it a shot. What do you think it is?
Dempsey. Dunvinsky. I don't know.
We got an email from an attorney resetting that. What was
Okay.
I'm going to vote that Laura said it right.
Yeah. And just because it's not here, we need to call the name 3 times.
Shoot.
Oh,
William Peshek, number 43.
Try it again. It's Bahachek.
Bahachek.
There you go. That's what I said.
Yeah. And so he's reset to April 1st.
Okay, that's all I had.
Yeah, Mr. Anderson signed a reset for that.
Is he appointed?
Yes. While we're waiting, there are a couple other updates for attorneys. Laura, if you just want to, we can go through the docket. So look at number 19.
I have Travis Fleetwood.
Yes, so he's on that one. Number 28.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes. Number 38.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes. And number 43, just because we want to hear you say the name again.
Mr. Anderson.
That's right. You got it.
And then Stephen is on Mr. Ford. Was he appointed to that one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Kane appointed me to that.
Okay.
No.
And then also number 48
Yeah, I got that one.
is Mr. Longoria.
I got them all, Judge. I'll add them in.
All
Who's
right.
48?
48 is Christopher Rodriguez.
Yes, I was hired on that one, Laura.
Okay, so Daryl Ford.
Yasmin is bringing paperwork to you now, Judge.
Okay, all right. So then after Mr. Ford, does that complete the docket?
As far as I can tell. Laura, do you mind going back upstairs to fingerprint Mr. Ford?
No, I'll go up.
Okay.
I'll come get the paperwork and then go back up. Judge, is it okay if I log off now?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
All right, so Daryl James Ford, you're charged with criminal trespass, I'm sorry. How do you plead to that? Oop, and you need to have somebody unmute you or see if you can do it.
Guilty.
Did you sign that?
Yes, sir.
And have you had enough time to go over this with Mr. Longoria?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Longoria, do you think your client understands his rights and is able to waive them?
Yes, Judge.
All right, what's the recommendation?
Recommendation is 10 days in jail with credit for 10 days already served, and I think Mr. Nystrom has the details on that.
Court costs and fees paid at $50 a month beginning May 15th.
Yes, Judge, that's our agreement and understanding.
And Mr. Ford, any questions about that?
No, sir, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll follow that recommendation, find you guilty of criminal trespass, sentence you to 10 days in jail with credit for 10 days served, pay fees and costs at the rate of $50 a month. All right, so somebody will be bringing this paperwork up to you and they'll give you copies, Mr. Ford.
Okay, thank you.
That's all his, nothing needs to come back. That's all, he'll get fingerprinted and Laura's headed up there to fingerprint it. Okay. All right, I mean, unless we want to go through the docket one more time and update everybody, I think we're done. You got it. Okay. All right. Do we want to run through the docket? That's Mr. Nystrom. I see you're live.
That's fine, Judge. I have very few notes on most people, so.
I show that everybody has been taken care of. I'm going to look one more time.
Sylvia, do you have any blanks?
No, I have everybody.
Okay.
So then we're going to call two names. We're going to call Wesley Traber's name, or Traber Walker's name, I'm sorry, and not issue a warrant right now. But we'll call James Dalton Touchet or Touchette or whatever it is, and issue a warrant for him for failure to appear.
Judge, Carlos Moya was also not present. I know Mr. Looney got a reset, but can we just document that he's not here?
We can just call his name then.
Judge, did he not show up? He came to my office this morning and I sent him across the street.
Carlos Moya?
Yes.
Okay. He might have shown up and then signed a reset. Let me see. Mr. Looney signed one. Let me see. Okay, I have a reset signed by, just by Paul Looney.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. April 1st, next week.
Teresa, are you able to get a hold of him and tell him his new court date?
Yes, I can. Yes.
I think he was here and Mr. Looney signed the reset.
I told him to go over.
And I would say we don't call his name, Judge, if there's some possibility that he was here. And as long as Teresa can just tell him what his next court date is, that's fine.
Okay, so it'll be next week, April 1st.
I'll call him.
All right, anybody else?
See the last Zoom docket, or are we going to continue with some form of it going forward?
I imagine next week, April 1st, will probably be kind of a hybrid. We'll send out Zoom invites, but if whoever shows up, we can handle them live. All right, I guess that's it. So, bye-bye. I'll try to sign us out with my walk-up music playing again. That was the highlight of the day.
Can I see your docket so I can work on it?